Welcome to A Portrait of Eddie. This is a shorter version of our memory portrait project, and I decided to offer you this supplement because there's something kind of wonderful about capturing your pet using these techniques. I won't go through every step because I don't need to. You've already learned about how to use these materials and a little bit about the techniques, but I'll just talk about the special qualities of working with your pet as opposed to doing a portrait of a person. And for this video, my wonderful Jack Russell Eddie will be our model, and he's very photogenic, as you can see. But what's really important to me is to capture a picture of the pet that somehow indicates their character. So I have a few pictures of Eddie, and I choose one that is a little bit more action-oriented, as you will see in a moment. And I'm trying to find a place to put the circle that I've cut out of a tissue box. In a moment I'll show you the tissue box. There it is. You can find your papers and ephemera in all different kinds of places of your life. And if you like a pattern or a texture, don't hesitate to save it. I've reused this old substrate. It's a painting, a former painting that I fell out of love with, and it's covered with a new coat of gesso and then a couple of coats of acrylic paint. Right now I'm putting some matte medium down on the substrate and adding some matte medium on the back of my image of Eddie so that I can have a nice flush image on the canvas. You can see that my techniques are sometimes rather unorthodox. I use my fingers a lot to smudge and to smooth over areas of paint and matte medium. So feel free to use your fingers too if you like. Okay, so I'm adding the little circle that I've cut out of the tissue box and using the matte medium to glue it down. And I might have to use a little bit more later on because it's a thick cardboard and it doesn't seem to want to stay down on its own right now. So I will probably keep letting it dry and adding more medium just to help with it being more flush. But you can see we've got some action happening here. The little ball helps. It definitely highlights Eddie's playful nature. So now I concentrate on adding a little bit of interest in the rest of the painting. This is some papers, some lovely different textured papers that I've ripped, and unfortunately they're a little pale under this lighting, but to me they work with the background that I'm trying to create for Eddie. It's a personal preference. You need to look at your piece and find what works. I like to make sure that I don't do anything too bold to take away from the star of the painting, and so I'm using more subdued and subtle colors to add some texture and a more painterly quality to this piece. When I'm working on a commission, what I often like to add is text. Sometimes people supply me with the animal's name or particularly an expression that will indicate the character of that particular animal. So here I have, we'll see what's coming up next. We have moments to start with. And again, I'm being quite liberal with my matte medium. So what's happening here? I've just cut these letters out of words out of an old magazine. So happy moments. Eddie always brings happy moments to my life, so it felt like the appropriate expression for this this character of a dog. And as you can see, I'm not really aligning that too well with the screen, but here we go. Yes, I need a few videographer lessons. Okay, and in completing this piece, I keep layering the medium on. And then after that, I'm adding a little bit of paint to his body because the image itself is quite muted. It's not quite black and white, it's more grayscale. So I want to make it look a little bit more like a painting. So I add black for accent. He's got little black spots, which are part of his character. And I actually need a smaller brush for some of these details, and in a moment I will grab one because you want to make sure you get all the details pretty exact, because that is the dog, and each cat and each guinea pig have their own personalities, so you want to make sure that you get that and capture it well. So you can see I've also added some white paint. I haven't shown you every piece of this. I've splotched some white in the background for clouds, and I added another little circle because the playful ball seems to be what Eddie's all about. Whether you're doing a pet portrait or whether you're doing a person portrait, you might just want to consider trying this project. I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and you'll learn a lot about some different kinds of techniques that you might not have tried before. It's a lot of fun, and anyway, enjoy and make art.